Good morning, this is Phoenix Amore. Trying to keep this video to 4 minutes or less. Staying on topic with something very important for people to know. As this whole thing, understand something. YouTube is not a terrible platform. Facebook is not a terrible platform. Twitter is not a terrible platform. Vimeo is not a terrible platform. What's terrible is how people have started to begin to use it. I'm going to bring people to one simple point that they've now discovered with this shooter in Florida is that he deemed his act, guess what? Fame. Look what he said. One day I'm going to be a famous high school shooter. That keyword famous should let you know how much people have gone into a mode where they do anything for fame. Now people get why I targeted in some regard the situation where you had this actress lady write some lying mess in the book, right, to seem like she's the survivor of this terrible marriage and all this stuff, only to have her ex sue her. That is not about starting beef, as they like to say. That is about somebody being grounded enough to say, when y'all do that, and then when it's discovered later, what you don't understand is you're basically creating a world where people feel like they need to do anything for fame. So when I talked about the 16-year-old, right, in regards to one person on YouTube, and he's like, that dude is an idiot. Great. I was ecstatic to hear my 16-year-old know, yeah, some of the stuff people are doing where you go, what the hell? Good. I'm glad you're already at that what the hell at 16 when you're watching some of this stuff. Understand that. Now, 8-year-old being different, I got to watch him a little bit more. Understand it from a psychological, right, base. When they talk about certain behaviors and stuff that kids learn by a certain age, it's very real. So 16-year-old can process and look at something and say, that's idiotic. 8-year-old, he's still in that mode where he's like, well, is that wrong all the way? So he got checked after he played his little boxing game yesterday, and he got pinned to the floor, right? Because he punched the ketchup bottle. You guys already know. That's why I said, ask the men why I did that. It's just a display of dominance. When you're raising boys in that regard, they need to understand that you are physically stronger or willing to do that with them. Not in a sense where you're beating them, but it's just one of those things where at that point he knew he was in a vulnerable position. Now you can hear me. Now you can hear and I can penetrate your psyche. You acting a fool. He was not raging. He was angry. There's not at one time that he's picked up a chair or, he's done something where you go, okay, now that's ridiculous. Punching a ketchup bottle, I'm like, okay, that's a ketchup bottle. But that's one of the first times I've seen him do that. That's what people need to understand. That took me to that point where, like, you getting checked now. And X knew already, because he knows when I get a certain face, I'm like, I'm about to handle this now. So getting back to where I'm going with the parenting thing. Some people, because they're seeking fame, they start trying to talk about topics that really aren't close to their heart. This is where I said some of these people just doing this, right, to get the shine, and it's embarrassing in that respect because you want it to be something that's close to their heart because otherwise it just seems like some fake marketing. Just like the guy called, this journalist, right, called out Mr. Ex-President saying, you know what, you sold out on your hope and change. So this is the whole thing. It must not have been that close to his heart because as soon as, boom, right, he had gotten an opportunity to make his money, guess what? Suddenly all his values are gone. That's the key thing. So with this whole trend with the social media, this is why I'm so glad it's come out because I'm looking at some of these people that are trying to use politics as their way to get, if I keep saying I hate this one person, people gonna love me and all that. One problem with that, at some point people are going to think you're being ignorant because now you have this journalist calling out your favorite ex-president about something that's very real. So now you look like, just like what I said before, they are just shine seeking, advertising and all that, using whatever topic. So it's dangerous though, because now you see what's been created in this world. So when I talk about kids and I talked about mental health and all that, guess what? It runs in our family. My mother is an LMSW. The other grandmother on the other side has a PhD in education. So all these topics that I started talking about, they are close to my heart. They weren't just random. So all this being said, this is why it's annoying to me when you see some people like, you really don't care about this. You just want to feel like you miss whatever. That's an annoying thing. You don't want to send the wrong message that people are starting to say, yeah, all of a sudden this person cares about this. That's dangerous. Because people will, just like this journalist called out Mr. Ex-President, start to say, you're only doing that for marketing. Good, people starting to see that. Now, kudos to the gay couple saying, you know what, we did all the YouTube couple thing, and at the end of the day, our relationship became more like a business. You couldn't even enjoy your own relationship and it crumbled. Reality, right? That's real talk, because then you became chained to that. That became your relationship. Didn't work out so well, did it? Then you have this couple just around me that has this person break into their house because they put everything on YouTube. I dropped hints to people. When I put the picture up, you would have never known that I was at the hospital with my grandmother, because it was none of y'all's business. Some things need to stay private. So I'm not saying don't use the platforms. Everybody finally realizes what I said. Get back to a place where it's healthy. The fakery is not helping anyone. Take care.